If you've been waiting on the latest Gardyn edition, you are not alone. I've been using the original Gardyn for almost 2 years now, and I was really looking forward to checking out the new version. So let's see what the new upgrades are and how the Gardyn 2.0 compares to the 1.0. If you look at Gardyn's website, they do have a list of comparisons between the two versions. After looking at the new 2.0 and comparing it to the 1.0, I have some thoughts as we go over that list. Column design. This is the feature that I was most interested in. I've had some issues with some parts of my columns cracking on my second 1.0 Gardyn that I purchased almost a year ago. For some reason, the first 1.0 that I had for almost 2 years has been more durable. The second 1.0 ended up giving way to cracks and even a few pieces breaking off at the joint where the column pieces lock together. It's something I notified Gardyn about, and their customer service not only thanked me for my feedback, but also happily replaced the cracked pieces as my Gardyn was still under warranty. While I was happy that they replaced the broken pieces, I am really hoping that this is something I don't have to deal with again in the future. So you can probably understand why I was really curious about the new column improvements. The first thing I noticed is that they have added a raised vine pattern, which helps you line the pieces up, and it did make it easier for me to figure out which way to turn them to lock them into place. The second thing I noticed is that the columns seem thicker, and if they have indeed created thicker columns, my hope is that this would help prevent future cracking and interlocking spots that were more fragile in the older model from breaking off. I will definitely do an update after I give it some time for wear and tear. On Gardyn's website, they mention that the deeper column opacity significantly reduces biofilm development. I wanted a bit more of an explanation. After sending an email, their quick customer service team got back to me within the same day, and this is what they said. The deeper opacity prevents excess light from reaching the inside of the columns, which significantly reduces the development of any biofilm. So again, this speaks to the thicker columns, which from just handling them seems to be true. Again, time will tell, but this is encouraging news, and I will be sure to include this in a future update. They also mention that the redesigned columns make for easier cleaning. The prevention of the growth of biofilm would definitely make for an easier cleaning, but you still take the columns apart in the same way you did before. The exception being that the hose connection at the bottom has a newer connector, which is much easier to connect than the old one. I have actually resorted to using a hairdryer to heat up my hoses on the 1.0 just to reattach them. I have to say that I was hoping for more changes in the columns themselves, especially where taking it apart for cleaning is concerned. Honestly, I would be really happy if I never had to take it apart again. So look for a video update in 6 months. That would be June of 2022. Enhanced pump. Upon looking at the pump, I wasn't sure exactly how this was accomplished. I asked Gardyn, and they informed me that the enhanced pump requires less power consumption and has advanced sensors which continuously monitor the pump's efficiency. I also noticed that at the top of each column, the hose no longer is looped for the return of the water tank. Rather, it is left free-flowing, and while it might be a little louder than the old one, gravity helps bring the water back instead of giving the pump more work than necessary. The pump is still just as quiet as the old one, but there is a louder sound coming from the water being left to free flow at the top of the unit. This basically sounds like you have a water fountain, which isn't bad, since watering only takes place 3 times a day for 5 minutes per watering session. Power. I can't tell you how often I get asked about the power consumption on the Gardyn 1.0. So this time, I measured the power used for both the 1.0 and the 2.0. Gardyn 1.0 consumed 2.35 kilowatt hours in a 24-hour period. The Gardyn 2.0 consumed 2.02 kilowatt hours in a 24-hour period. That comes out to a 0.33 kilowatt difference per day, or 1 kilowatt hour every 3 days, or 10 kilowatt hours per month. The average price a residential customer in the United States pays for electricity is 13.31 cents per kilowatt hour. So, the new Gardyn 2.0 costs $1.33 less a month on average than the 1.0. That ends up being about $16 cheaper to run the 2.0 than the 1.0 a year. Not a huge difference, but a difference, and using less power is always a plus in my book. New ultrasonic sensor. I did experience an issue with my first garden and the sensor. It goofed up and started telling me that I had no water in my tank when I had water in my tank. My unit was still under warranty at the time, and Gardyn was quick to send me a special block of foam that was to be strategically placed between the sensors as per their instructions. The old sensor did one thing. It measured the water level in the tank. According to Gardyn, this new sensor measures water level and keeps track of plant water intake. Time will tell how well this sensor is improved over the other one, but for now, I just have to take their word for it. Final thoughts. After 6 weeks of using the 2.0, I have to say that if I was picking between the two versions for my first or second garden, I would definitely choose the 2.0. While I would like to see more improvements in the future, such as an easier way to take it apart for cleaning, the thicker columns alone are enough of a reason for me. Time will tell the full story, and I will be sure to update as the year progresses, so stay tuned. If you are looking to purchase a garden, you can use the code ESSIFLYNN at checkout to save on your purchase. You will also be helping to support this channel and future videos, so thanks in advance. If this video has helped you in any way, I would love to hear from you. And if you are interested in future reviews like this one or my other videos, please subscribe below. I really appreciate it. Until next time, I'm Essi Flynn.